Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and add some more coal here. Alright, let's get some coal on there. Oops. It's hard to explain. There is a lot of work to do with the steamer. Normally the work of two men, which I'm doing by myself right now. Although you could say that I'm kind of slacking off as I kneel down in my study and quite physically grab this handle to open our tender and see that we do have quite a lot of water in there still. So I must say these VR games are really spoiling pretty much every other game for me now. Just the sheer immersiveness of being in a room scale VR experience such as this one. Some coal for the left. Oops. Some coal for the right. You can get Wheelspin in this as well if you really throw on the throttle. You can look at that. That's absolutely crazy. Whoa. Now we're really getting... Okay. Alright. Keep the train under control. This is not even a loaded train, so... And I can feel the train just picking up speed again, so let's get on the brake again. Feel those buffers smashing into each other now. Oh god. Hold it together, hold it together. Hello and welcome. I've got something a little bit special for you all today. This is Derail Valley, and this is me standing in my study with a virtual reality headset. I just thought I'd cover Derail Valley in VR mode for a change. My last video on this channel was Derail Valley in non-VR mode, so I thought I would play the game as it was intended and just check it all out for you guys today. So I've been playing this for a little while now, about a week or two, I guess, in VR mode. I've only just recently picked up a Oculus Rift headset. So this is a virtual reality headset. It's one of probably two big players in the market at the moment, the other one being the HTC Vive. So I've picked up the Oculus Rift anyway. It was more, I guess, cost effective, and even with the two sensors, it's still fairly good in room scale mode, as they call it. Anyway, not really here to review the Oculus today. This is more about Derail Valley. So hopefully, I'm actually recording this on the fly through the Oculus Rift headset microphone. So hopefully my voice comes out okay. We're looking at this absolutely outstanding steam locomotive at the moment within Derail Valley, and it's really difficult to explain the experience. I mean, it's like, obviously I'm holding the two hand controllers here that you can probably see represented on the screen here, but it's almost like I could reach out and touch the connecting rod and the massive, absolutely massive driving wheel that I'm looking at here as well. So yeah, it's quite an experience. It's very difficult to explain what it's like in VR mode. You really just have to try it out for yourself. But hopefully this video will give you a bit of an idea as to what you can expect in virtual reality mode. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like this thing is just towering above me right now. The moment you put on the virtual reality headset, yeah, everything just pops. I mean, I can quite literally now kneel down in my study, and you can see here that the rail and the stones, the wood, sorry, the sleepers, as they are technically called, just absolutely beautifully represented in 3D. And I'm just turning my head now to towards the back of my study, and yeah, you can see the rails there just going off into the distance. So yeah, it's definitely very, very beautiful, um, and yeah, very difficult to explain really. Yeah, yeah. What else can I really say? You really have to kind of, well, be here in a way to just experience the sheer scale and sort of depth of field that you get with VR. I'm standing up right now, and these wheels just look like they're coming right up to my shoulders, basically. These huge driving wheels. There's 8 of them on this locomotive, and of course the tender. So yeah, anyway, let's just go through a few bits and pieces about the game. Obviously, in VR mode, there is some slight differences. You've got a sort of handy little inventory, floating inventory, I guess you could say. So, bit sort of different. You can just basically quite literally grab any sort of objects. You can chuck them around. You can pick them up again. You've got your wallet as well, which is in beautiful 3D. Not sure what that was. Shovel, of course, which we will be needing for the steam locomotive, which is just patiently waiting for us right now. So yeah, you can basically use the shovel to shovel coal from the tender into the firebox, and we'll be certainly doing a lot of that today. So yeah, there's little bits and pieces here anyway. So what I wanted to do, yeah, so basically what we're doing today is, you'll remember in the last video on my channel for Derail Valley, we were driving the diesel shunter over there in the distance there. We're going to be doing the same route again. We're going to head down that way. So basically we're going to head from the steel mill where we are now, all the way down. We're going to hang a left again. Then there's going to be a right, left, whatever, over to Harbour and Town again anyway. So last time we kind of derailed in our first look. So I really hope we don't derail this beautiful beast this time, because that would be a real shame. So over from the steel mill to Harbour and Town, there's no turntable. So with the steam loco, you can drive it backwards, but yeah, I prefer to sort of drive it forwards. So seeing as it's facing over this way, we'll go ahead and pick up some wagons today, and we shall. Yeah, we're not going to do like a job or anything. We're not going to get paid for it in the game. I'm just going to pick up some random wagons. You do know from the previous video that you can get jobs in the game to move wagons around and earn money. Today is just going to be a bit of a free run. So anyway, so yeah, with the VR, you can, as opposed to walking, so I'm just standing up right now and using my little thumbstick to move. You can also, what I'm doing here is just plotting a course to teleport, as it were. So you can actually teleport from place to place, like I'm doing here. And if I just turn around in one place, you can teleport back. I'm not really a fan of the teleportation, but it does come in handy. As you drive, you'll see that you can fall off the train by accident sometimes, so you do need to, even whilst it's in motion, just sort of quickly teleport back into the cab or on top of the tender or wherever you need to. So the teleport feature is definitely very handy. Yeah, so anyway, we'll see how we go. Let's without further ado, let's sort of jump on board. So what we'll do is we'll start off by just getting acquainted with the steam locomotive. So this is a first. Obviously, I haven't driven the steam locomotive before on YouTube, I guess. I've had the Oculus Rift now for probably 2 weeks, and I've been trying to get as much sort of time in with it as possible. But yeah. What you guys are seeing today is still pretty much a first look in a way. So with the steam locomotive, there's quite a lot to do. Normally this is a two-man sort of job. Obviously the main event here is your firebox. So I'm quite literally grabbing the levers with my hand controllers here, just sort of kneeling down in the study here. And yeah, you can see the beautiful firebox in all of its glory there. You've got your sander here, which can improve your traction if your wheels are slipping. Hardly really need to use this. If you've got a heavy train behind you, sure, you may need it. And if you've got a lot of gradient as well. Can I say, you got your main, this is your brake anyway. I'll go over this again shortly. This is the steam gauge here, so you can see we've got no steam. Now this is kind of a simplified, I guess, representation of a steam locomotive. So you'll see here that your water, you can just turn the knob and that will actually start to add water into your boiler by just turning the valve, sorry. In reality, you'd need to operate a steam injector and a water valve, and you need to sort of balance them up and listen for the right flow and the right steam sound. Some of the train simulators do this really well, but unfortunately, none of the train simulators out there allow you to actually do what I'm about to do right now, and that is grab the shovel from my inventory and quite literally take some coal and chuck it into the firebox, as you can see here. So I must say I've always wanted to do this in the virtual world. And there were no sort of simulators that allowed me to quite physically shovel coal, but be careful what you wish for, I guess, eh? So what you see I'm doing there is just putting in a little bit of coal. Now everything sort of accelerated the operations that you do. So, whoops, you'll see here the water's already full. Whoops. Make sure that's closed. Sorry. Yeah, the water's full, so you can actually sort of dump out some of the water. There we go. Let's keep it around 3/4. You don't need to fill it too much. Okay, so there's a little bit of a process to get the steam locomotive going. In reality, this would probably take 6 to 7 hours to actually get the steam locomotive fired up, oiled up, and ready to go. You can watch a lot of videos on the real thing. But yeah, in the game, I guess in this game, what we're doing here is we're adding some coal. Now you'll see there's a little piece of coal there as well. We can just pick this up and chuck that in. Okay. Now, once we've got a little bit of coal in there, we can quite literally grab a lighter that is conveniently in our inventory, like that. And then basically, just kneeling down here, watch the knees, chuck it. Looks like I might have gone out. Okay, let's try that again. Fortunately, you have an unlimited supply of lighters in this game. So just grab that and throw. Oops. Third time lucky. So grab and throw. I think what's happening is it's going out. The flame is going out. There we go. That'll do it. Okay, so we've got our fire starting up. Let's go ahead and close the fire doors. I'll go through these fire doors again once we get moving, what you've got to do and what you can't do. Alright, so you'll see here, I said that everything's kind of accelerated. You'll see that the steam's already building up and it's only been probably about half a minute, if that. You'll see that we're already at 400 degrees temperature in the firebox. So again, everything's kind of accelerated. Everything happens rather quick, but it's still, it doesn't take away from the sheer immersiveness that the VR gives you. I mean, it's not 100% realistic steam locomotive simulation, but all of the main, I guess, procedures are there. You've got your dampers here as well. Okay. So with the damper, what that does is, whilst you're underway, if you open the damper, pardon me, it introduces airflow into the firebox and it gives you a better fire. Whilst you're stationary, you can improve your fire generation by opening the blower. Right, so okay, that's going to improve our steam generation quite a lot. But I generally tend not to use the blower because, one, you only need it whilst you're standing still, and in this game there's no stations or anything that you kind of need to stop at, so just turn that baby off there. The thing I find with the blower, when you use it, it seems to really chug down on your water, so I keep the blower off. Okay, I don't really touch any of these valves basically. If you ever have to touch any of these valves, it means something's gone wrong. So you need to dump water, or even, you sort of dump out your fire even. There's like a fire out valve, okay? Anyway, so we'll just add a bit of water here, a bit more water. So just by turning this valve, you can turn it up higher to add more water quicker, or I like to just keep it cracked here a little bit. Now there's also two little, there's this lever here, and there's this down here. I haven't seen any videos or any documentation or any discussion that talks about what these two things do. I've got the feeling they're not implemented at the moment, but yeah, if anyone's watching and wants to chime in and let us know what they do, that's much appreciated. Right, so we've got our fire going. Oh, water's almost full. Oops, I keep doing that. Okay, valve is closed. Alright, the water will come down shortly. We can just begin using the valve because something's gone wrong. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're pretty much good to go. Steam pressure's coming up. So again, we're not going to pull a long train today. But anyway, let's go over just these little things here. So this is the coupler. Okay, so you can obviously couple and uncouple your train if you need to. That little bell that we just heard is just a bit of a helper. Again, not really that realistic. It's just letting you know that your fire is getting cold. That's fine. We're still at around 200 degrees on the temperature gauge there. You've got your speedometer down here. Don't want to go too fast on these tracks. Okay, so this land of Derail Valley has a lot of twisty mountainous tracks, so we'll be staying around 20 to 30 kilometers an hour for most part. Very, very rarely will you go more than about 40, okay, unless you got a death wish. So here's your reverser. Okay, so it's like the gears in your car. The higher this is forward, it means that it's like a low gear. You got more steam going in for longer into the cylinders. As you speed up, you can start to dial back, engage higher gear as it were, and go faster with less force. Right in the middle here is neutral, so you won't go anywhere there, and then anything below that is reverse. So again, full back is most powerful reverse, and then as you come up towards the center, it's least powerful reverse. As you go over center to the fore, it's kind of like high gear, but that's low gear right at the top there. It's a really simple way of explaining it. It's really cool. You can move your shovel around. You can grab your map. You can chuck your map down there. You can get all nicely set up here. So yeah, we've got our water. We've got our fire. Fire's kind of going out, so let's just add a little bit more. Let's grab our shovel here. Oops, probably don't want to leave that map there. I guess it's not ideal, but anyway. So yeah, in reality, you'd want to be putting. I have had the opportunity to fire a real locomotive once, and I had a go. Obviously, you need to kind of put your coal on one side and the other, and in the middle. There's quite an art to actually firing a locomotive in reality. It's not just shoveling coal in willy-nilly. Obviously, it's not quite simulated in this game, but you do have to kind of, in reality, make sure that you've got all corners covered, and that you don't introduce hot spots on your firebox and all that sort of thing. So really the job of the fireman is a black art, and probably even more complex than that of the driver when it comes to skill. So yeah, probably can't ask them to model that much, but yeah. Alright, so our steam pressure is coming up. Just gonna give it a few more moments, and actually we'll go over the brake shortly. What you can do as well, so I've done this just with the any, whoops, let's pick up the coal and chuck that in there like that. Just like to keep things clean around here for the driver, which is also me in this case. Alright, so let's get going anyway. We've got lots of coal and lots of water. Okay, so we'll get going in just a second. So basically what's going on here is this is our brake. So just move this shovel out of the way a little bit. We can release our brakes like so, applying them as such like that. So we'll go ahead, release. So we've got a train brake here. We've already been through the reverser, so we'll just give that a good halfway mark of 50%. You've got obviously your coupler here, and your decoupler. Hang on. I think we've just decoupled our tender. So anyway, let's just pull forward a little bit and see how we are. Yeah, okay. So it is possible to uncouple your tender, as you can see here. Obviously don't want to do that in practice. So let's just go ahead and reverse. Apply a little bit of throttle, just a little. See 2 pieces of coal there that have I managed to grab one. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, let's just a little bit more. And we can see our fires come down. Just want to couple up. Oops. Let's go back again. Okay. All right. So yeah, our steam pressure is good, as we saw before. Water's come down a little bit, so our fire's also a little bit dead. So, oops, let's get the show on the road anyway. So, brakes off. Okay, looking good. So what we want to do is basically pull forward, and maybe I'll pick up these wagons here. Quite a bit of throttle on here. Let's grab the shovel and a little bit more coal in. That's a pretty sad amount of coal, but anyway, we're not pulling much right now, so we just want to keep an eye on how we're going. We'll pick these up. I think they're empty wagons anyway, so no real biggie. So as we roll through these points here, okay, so this is the points we need to change. So we'll go ahead and apply the brake. Now let's see. Whoops, we just jumped out of the train. It's very easy to teleport out of the train, out of the locomotive or train as you're going. Anyway, the brakes are just about to stop the locomotive, so you can actually do this from the cab as well, and this is way too close to be doing this, but it doesn't really matter. So we want to go over to the left as it's pointing there to pick up those empty wagons. So we'll make our way back to the locomotive. We'll hop in and we will reverse. Oops. The physics in general are actually quite good with this game. I know quite a few people complaining, well, no, I was adding water before, and again, I keep leaving the water on and overfilling the boiler. There we go. Again, everything is kind of exaggerated. That was a big waste of water just then, but anyway. So we're on the right track now. Mind the pun. And mind the slightly crazy physics here on the tender. As I lean out. Alright, so as we get closer and closer, what will happen is down here you'll see a range indicator light up, so just kneeling down again. Whoops. Whoa. Brake, 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 brake. Oh. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Alright, so we've picked up the train. As you can see, there's quite a few wagons behind us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so 9 wagons. Now the fire's looking a little bit sad. So, but we've got heaps of steam pressure. So the way I've been trying to run this locomotive lately was just be a little bit conservative with the coal. No need to overdo things. But obviously that is looking a little bit low. So, right, so we've got a good load of coal in there now. Good amount of water, as we can see here. Steam pressure is through the roof. In fact, the safety valve keeps blowing off. So let's get going, shall we? So right. Okay, so we're good to go now, I think. We don't have much load on this train. Mostly all just empty wagons if we step out. Just mind me, I know you guys want to get going. But this is our train as it looks right now. So, a whole bunch of empty wagons, a few flat cars as well in the middle there. We're going to head off in that direction towards the Harbour and Town. So the steel mill, head sort of southwest, hang a left again, and then head straight down towards Harbour and Town. So yeah, there's a bit of driving ahead of us. So let's see how we go. Alright, so brake off. We don't need full cut off there. We'll just take it down to about 70-odd%. Slowly add the throttle and then off the throttle. Just want to pick up the slack and re-add the throttle again. Off the throttle. Just keep slowly on the throttle there and then off. Okay, I think we've picked up most of the slack in the train now. I think we're all moving. So water's looking a bit low. Let's go ahead and add some water. And let's continue adding throttle. Alright. Everything's looking good. Don't worry too much about the switches ahead of us. We just want to go straight through, and we obviously don't want to go too fast, so we'll get off the throttle a little bit. So we're adding water right now. As you can see, this valve is a little bit canted, so obviously when the water is off and when the water is a little bit on, you can add it faster if you want. I just like to keep it just on a trickle, and we don't really want to fill the boiler all the way either, so I think that's enough. Now I'm not sure if I mentioned before, the boiler is not fully modeled, where if you run out of water, it's not actually going to do anything at this moment in time anyway. It's still early access, this game, so as you can see there, the rail, that's that's a recent unfortunate bug that's been introduced at a few of the locations around the map. No physical sort of, I guess there's another one right there in front of us on the rail. Yeah, so if you run over those little anomalies in the track, they don't cause any damage as far as I'm aware. It's just a cosmetic issue that needs to be corrected. So again, early access, so alright, so I just heard the little bell, so we need a bit more coal. We're just running through our points here, and soon we'll be on the main line. Okay, always. Whoa. Carriage is bumping around a little bit there, so I just want to keep the speed down as we go through these points. Got the throttle on very lightly, and now just turn it off again, so just coasting again for the moment whilst we add some more coal. So just chuck that in there, chuck in another load there. So my play area, as they call it within the VR realm, is not exactly huge. Not sure if you can see that highlight there on the ground, but yeah, enough for me to sort of walk around the room a little bit, and where you reach the boundary, you can just use the thumb stick on the controller to move you the rest of the way. Alright, so let's add a little bit more throttle. The train is still going through all of those points, so just want to be careful here. Add a little bit more water. Oops. In one of the recent updates, there used to be quite a gradient ahead of us, as you'll probably remember in the previous video. That's now kind of been nerfed, as they've said. Rather unfortunate a little bit, but yeah, the gradient that used to be ahead of us was quite a beast, so probably for the best that it's not quite there anymore. Okay, so what I like to do is just sort of dial back the reverser a little bit. That just puts on a little bit more of a gentle power, and you may just need to add a bit more throttle. So we've got here about 7 or 8 notches, and we're nowhere near, like hardly on notch 1 at the moment. Just very, very lightly want to get this train through all of those points. Okay, so now we can start to throttle up a little bit. We've got good temperature in the firebox. It looks like our fire is doing okay, so let's go ahead and close the firebox doors, and away we go. Let's ring this whistle. You can get Wheelspin in this as well. So yeah, if you've got, for example, if you really throw on the throttle, you can look at that. That's a bit crazy. Oh, now we're really getting okay. All right. So you'll see there that actually regained traction after that. There's a lot of weight on this locomotive, so let's just get off the throttle here, because now we're flying along. We're doing 30 k's an hour, which doesn't seem fast, but believe me, it's probably close to the upper sort of limit that you want to be in this game. I mean, we're just sort of fidgeting around a little bit here. Yeah, so you can see here the gradient is pretty much gone now. There used to be a huge grade right here. We would have been at a standstill already without the throttle, but anyway. Let's add some more throttle here. Oops, putting too much water again. Dial back to about half on the reverser. Add more throttle. And we need a bit more fire. Yeah, so these massive driving wheels, you can see before they were slipping, and then they suddenly regained traction again and accelerated this train quite quickly. Yeah, so there's a lot of potential energy in this locomotive for sure, and quite a lot of weight as well, so definitely need to treat it with respect. And yeah, because it can very easily run away from you being so heavy as well. So we've got quite a bit of throttle on here. We'll just sort of dial back slightly, because I believe that they've done some work to clear most of the rocks off the rails lately, but I know there's still quite a few rocks here and there on the actual rails. Again, only a cosmetic issue. Okay. We've got a switch coming up soon. So, and we need to add some coal to our firebox. That'll do for now. Water's looking good, fire's on its way back up. We really don't need too much power today, because yeah, we don't have too much load on the back. And this is quite a powerful locomotive, so you really don't need to overfuel this thing. You would just, all you're doing is just setting off the safety valve unnecessarily. So you can see here that, okay, our pressure's coming down a bit, but I prefer to operate like this, with just a nice moderate pressure on, if I can. Okay, so our junction is coming up ahead, I believe. Yeah, we're going to have to do a left turn. I've done this route a few times by now, so just sort of dial back on the throttle there. Don't need to be going too fast, thank you. So our junction is just up ahead in that little bank of trees that look like they're actually on the rails, because they are actually on the rails. But anyway, we'll head back inside. Looks like we're slowing down, so add a bit more throttle. Make sure the brake's off. Just give it a bit more reverser. Some of you may be saying I'm going way too slow here, and some of you may be right. Although it is better to take it slow and steady in this game rather than go too fast, because changes in speed should be done very gently, particularly when slowing down. Don't want to compress the train too much and cause a derailment. So unfortunately we do have to turn left up here, so we can't speed up too much more, and we do have to change those points as well. So let's go ahead and get off the throttle and set ourselves up for changing the points on the fly. So point, as soon as you see the arrow is showing you which way the points are set, which is the wrong way. Okay, done. Back into the inventory. And looks like we're stopping again. I should not have taken off that much throttle. It's okay. We need a bit more water, so let's add some water. Let that trickle in. And we'll be making our way to the left. So just ignore those trees again. They need to clean a lot of this up on the route. They will be doing so hopefully soon. Again, it's just a cosmetic issue for the moment. You do not actually collide with the trees or the rocks or anything like that. Just mind your head. Those leaves sort of got in the way a little bit. Leaves. Alright, so we are heading in the right direction now, over easterly almost. We're turning to the east. Our destination's Harbour and Town, so just chuck that back into our inventory. We're chuffing along rather nicely here. And again, our fire is coming down. Whoops, water. Keep doing that with the water. Alright, so we've got a good rate of speed on now. Just take the throttle off, not completely, just enough. I want to keep her around 20 kilometers an hour. It's not blisteringly fast, but it's a nice rate of speed considering we do have quite a long train on here. So just, as you can see, rather empty but still long train. So again, just trying to take it easy with the I know we've got sort of jumping up here, got a massive load of coal on the back, but we'll go up there shortly and we'll see how much water we've got. Alright, I've got to slow down. Try not to bang into everything here in the study, because we need to change the points again. Okay, so we need to head off in the left. Head off to the left there. That's good speed. Come off the brake again. We might be going slightly too fast. I think we'll be okay. Alright, our fire is rather, it's going to be looking rather terrible right by now, I'm sure. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and add some more coal. Let's grab our shovel here. Let's get some coal on there. Oops. Don't need too much. Again, we're not pulling much of a load, so there's no point in going too crazy here. We've got just the right amount of water. Steam pressure is beautiful, just not maximum, probably about 3/4 of the way, or slightly less than 3/4. But obviously if we need to add power, we've got enough power. Okay, I've got a bit of sun coming into the cab now from overhead. So just having a look at these markings real quick on the reverser, and you can see here I'm at about 50% at the moment. That long middle mark in the middle there, that's neutral, and then anything beyond that, below that I should say, is reverse. So we've got a bit of speed now, so we can even dial back slightly more just to save our steam a little bit. And again, we don't have too much load on the back, so that looks good. Alright, so water's good. Let's just add a little bit more coal because I want to jump up onto the tender in a sec. So just bear with me. Whoops, just dropped the coal everywhere. Just having some issues here with the tracking, I think. So again, this is the Oculus Rift with just 2 sensors, for those of you in the know. Alright, close that up. Alright, so according to the map, we've got quite a long stretch ahead of us before we got to make a left turn. So really what I like to do around here, at this point in time, is obviously we've got a good amount of fire on, and just add a little bit more water. Probably dial back on the throttle slightly. We're doing good speed. I don't really want to go too much faster. Okay, so yep, water's good, fire's good, brake off. What I like to do around about this time is just sort of hop on to the back of the tender, believe it or not, and just enjoy the sights. So just come up here like this, and this is rather crazy standing here right now. I really should have taken my shovel. You know what? I'll take my shovel with me. Just one moment. All hail the steam engine driver holding the shovel over his head as we coast down the tracks in VR mode in Derail Valley. All hail! Okay. Alright, I've had my fun, so yeah, so what we can do, we can actually we can very carefully just step through the coal here. Oh, and your body actually just wants to react as you're moving around here. As you can see, they still haven't quite fixed the coupling representation, the physical representation at least. That will be fixed, I think, in future builds. But what a wonderful scenery that we are going through right now. And the steam locomotive really affords you, I'll just chuck that there, some really nice, yeah, it's hard to explain. There is a lot of work to do with the steamer. Normally the work of 2 men, which I'm doing by myself right now. Although you could say that I'm kind of slacking off as I kneel down in my study and quite physically grab this handle to open our tender and see that we do have quite a lot of water in there still. So yeah, I'm kneeling down right now in my study. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a good rate of speed. And this is very therapeutic, I must say. Again, using the Oculus Rift microphone here, so hopefully my audio comes through okay. Whoops, just fell off the tender. Just sort of jump back on here. Need to climb up the ladder. There we go. And the shovel's gone back into our inventory, no doubt. You can also pull other things out, like your map. Kneel down, have a look at that. There's still quite a bit of ways to go until our next left turn, as you can see there, the little blue marker. But we should probably start heading back to the cab just to see how the fire is going. And also, no doubt, how the water situation is looking. So we'll grab our shovel and I'll get back up. And we'll just quickly, we'll just see if we can't skirt the very tippy toe on the corner of the tender here. Oh, and jump back down. Okay, water's looking really sad. So let's add some water. Again, I don't believe that the boiler physics is fully modeled at this point, so even if you do run out of water, it's not a huge deal, unfortunately. I do look forward to when they do model running out of water and melting plugs and whatnot, or causing an explosion perhaps. Alright, so speed's looking good. We've still got a bit of a ways to go, so let's quickly top up a bit more coal. We've got some water going in already, and water's almost good to go, I must say. We'll just add a bit more coal. This is plenty. Okay. I can hear the rhythm of the rails increasing, so I'll just back off the throttle. And the water is full, so whoops, full, off. There we go. Alright, so we picked up quite a bit of speed now. Just coasting. Okay. And you'll see our pressure's just gone through the roof, but it's no big deal. Alright, we'll slow down a little bit. There's quite a bit of jitter right now in this simulation, I must say, with the VR, so apologies for those of you who are getting a bit motion sick perhaps. It's way worse for me. But definitely very, very immersive. So just going to jump back onto the tender here. You can also jump, for example, onto the, whoops. Let's try that again. So up here. What you can do is up onto the roof of the locomotive up here. Whoops, not that far high. Just gone way that's a nice view of our train anyway. As we chuff down the rails, nice and steady with no issues. Great. So what we'll do is we'll jump back into, and just on the back here, we'll climb up onto the flat cars. Let's jump over here. Make our way over to the front of the train. Oops. Let's get onto the, now just do a final jump onto the tender. Oop, there's a rock I can see. It's one they need to clean up still. But yeah, what I was going to show you before is you can actually hop onto. Yep, there's the there's the safety valve. You can see back there the reverser in the cab. But we can. Oh, my body wants to just get up right now, so I'll just stand up again and gently walk towards the front of the locomotive. Of course, this is very, very dangerous. You would not do this in real life. Well, not if you had any semblance of sanity. I just realized that we are speeding up quite a lot, so let's get back into the cab. Yeah, we're doing a bit of clip right now. Let's just get a bit of brake going. Got a bit of a curve coming up, so got the brakes on. We want to go, so you'll see there's a bridge out there. We don't want to go that way. We actually want to go to the right, sorry. So we're going to keep bearing right as we go. Okay, we'll slow down to a good clip now. Just off the brake. We're still just coasting. We probably just want to keep coasting for now. Fire is getting cool, but I can probably wait for the moment because I need to change these switches. So, oh, this switch, this point up there, it's pointing us to the left to go out that way, which is the wrong way. So we need to go straight through that tunnel right ahead of us. So, okay, now it's pointing to the right, as you can see. Put you back into the inventory. Brakes off. Let's add a bit of throttle. So we are slowing down. Fires, actually we should quickly add some fire before we get into this tunnel. Oh god. Come on, come on, come on, add some coal. Let's see if we can get another load in there. Oh no, it's all over the ground now. There we go. Right. Okay, close. We want to close up the fire doors before we head into the tunnel. So let's see what's going on here. What's going on? Going through these points. Sort of move our head out of the way there. Alright, so really just wanted to ensure that we had enough coal in there so we didn't burn out our fire. Water's getting really low again. Really shouldn't be letting it get this low. Going into our tunnel now. Okay, so in the tunnel. And we're picking up speed. So from experience, I know that there's a bit of a downgrade coming up here. So off the throttle completely. And start to add a little bit of brake. Just a touch. Just compress the train up a little bit. Okay, you can see the speed there is trying to pick up, so might need a touch more brake here. And while we're doing that, I'll just clean up around here. Just doing some house cleaning. That one didn't even go in, and neither did that. That was a terrible throw, and that was a terrible throw as well. That. Let's add a little bit more brake. Come back, pick up some more coal. There we go. And you as well. Alright, and you. Oh, actually, you can just... You know what? You can go all the way outside. Okay, so close the fire doors. Let's see what's going on. Oh jeez, we're going way too fast. Going way too fast. More brake, more brake. Because we've already compressed the train, I can safely add more brake now without incurring too much penalty. Okay, just want to come down to around 20 if we can. Off the brake. Alright. Keep the train under control. This is not even a loaded train, so and I can feel the train just picking up speed again, so let's get on the brake again. Feel those buffers smashing into each other now. Oh god. Hold it together, hold it together. Oh no, too much water again. I'm gonna have to dump some of this out. Make sure that's closed. You can also dump the steam, and there's a blower here, but you don't really need that while you're moving. And you can also burn out the fire as well if you need to. Alright, going through another tunnel now, and fire's looking fantastic. Let's just keep the brake on because this thing just wants to accelerate on us right now. So, okay, things are looking good, still under control, still under control. Right, into the tunnel with a good amount of fire. Just want to keep those doors closed. In reality, you do not want to keep these doors open in a tunnel. So what happens is, there's a vacuum or a suction that's caused, and the fire can basically blow out and basically burn you. So, I mean, with enough blower on, perhaps that wouldn't happen, but yeah, always best to keep these doors closed. And that just adds another element of challenge as well. Make sure that you've got enough fire before you get into the tunnel. Just adding a bit more brake here. Our water is coming down again. Okay, we've got a bit too much brake on now. Just come off the brake a bit. This is a downgrade though, so I'm not going to come off the brake completely, mind you, because we do have curves coming up here. And that's a rather sharp curve over there coming up. Don't want to fall off that cliff, that's for sure. So keep the speed under control, nice and easy. Remember, we've got 100 tons up front and probably another 200 tons behind us, if that, perhaps. It is an empty train, so yeah, probably not quite that much, but at least 100 ton behind us anyway. So nice and slow as we round this corner. Better to be going too slowly. Just trying to get my bearings here. On the brake still, nice and easy. Got a bit more curve coming up. This locomotive is not really designed for such territory, I would have thought. I mean, this is a mainline locomotive. Whoa! Hang on. Let's get back inside here. Almost fell off the cliff here. Yeah, so this is it's probably like a Mikado sort of locomotive perhaps. But yeah, this thing's designed for straight rail, man. Oh, we're getting some real jitters right now. Trying to do my best here, folks. Still on the brake, but I can feel her surging forward still, so a bit more brake please. Just bang into the desk there. Oh, it's really bad today. This is still early access, so you really just have to keep in mind that they're still working on optimizing this game, particularly in VR mode, but it's still very much worth the experience as it stands. Still got the brake on hard. Our fire is looking really sad. Yeah, fire's not looking good at all. Just add a little bit more. You can see that I'm not going overboard with the amount of coal. And the reason, like I said before, is you just don't want to overfuel your locomotive because you're just wasting coal and wasting water and wasting everything. So let's just get off the brake. Whoops. Move the shovel out of the way. Okay, brakes off now. Brakes off, brakes off. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we? Okay, so let's look at the map. Got a bit of a straight run coming up ahead, and then quite a sharp, almost U-turn to the left soon. So actually, no, I think there is one last switch that we do need to go through there in just a little bit. Not quite yet. Just bring this over to the sun here. Yeah, there is another switch coming up soon. Not for a little while. It's mostly straight track, so let's chuck this back into the inventory here. Or you can do like I sometimes do and just rest it down there. Okay, so just watch your speed, folks. Watch your speed. 20 is your friend. Wow, look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Look at that scenery. I've turned down a few elements on the terrain. The vegetation has been turned down a little bit. It's trying to increase the speed, the optimization, well, the frame rate, I guess you could say. They are still working heavily on optimizing this game, and we are working heavily on increasing speed. So let's retard that a little bit. Wow, we are going way too fast. Okay. Never mind those rocks. We do have quite a curve coming up, so let's slow this thing down. What's going on? What's going on? Slow down, slow down, slow down. Just want to be safe. Don't want to derail. And off the brake. Okay, water situation, need a bit more. Steam, we've got heaps. Let's have a quick look at the fire. Fire's fine. Oops. Bear with me here, folks. Let's find the center of my study again. Okay, so that switch, yep, there comes the switch. Now it's set fine, set over to the left. Just want to make sure we're not going too fast. So we're going through at a really nice speed right now. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Oh god. Oh. Off the brake. Just want to coast through here now. Sorry folks, I know this is probably quite an experience to be watching this in even in 2D, but you'll be very pleased to know this is pretty much the same route I was trying to take last time with the shunter, and that's exactly the place where I derailed earlier on that switch, on that curve. So you probably recall in my last video I walked up here and we could see Harbour and Town in front of us, but our train was derailed unfortunately, but not so this time around. Okay, too much water again as usual. Now for those of you in the know, if you do overfill your water, you do actually cause problems as well. So just trying to dump off excess water. Oops. Let's jump back on there. There's Harbour and Town in front of us. Well, over to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will kindly look to your right, you will see Harbour and Town. Again, these wagons probably don't need to be going there, but I just thought, why not go for a nice little drive today? And a bit more throttle. Whoops, fall off the train. Run beside the train. Realize that the train's running away from you. And use the teleport feature to get back in. Okay, so water's looking good. Fire is really low. We're almost there. Add just a bit more throttle. give it a bit more reverser. Let's get the shovel out. Probably for one of the last few times. I must say I'm really enjoying this. I can't wait for them to optimize this game. Maybe add a few more little features to the Steam Locomotive. Yeah, that's heaps. That's easily going to take us to our destination. Let's just add a bit more throttle here because she's still slowing down. Yeah, so on the road map, I guess you could say for this game, there's quite a few enhancements for the steamer coming up. I do hope they put some boiler physics into the boiler. So, for example, if you run out of water, all that sort of thing. The thing I like doing as well is just kind of sitting down in the cab. So you can actually just sit down, and I'm quite literally again sitting down in my study. And I can reach up and operate the throttle like so. I can reach over to the shovel, I can move that over there. I can operate the sand, we don't need that right now. I can lean forward a little bit and check out our brake situation. I can kind of move over to the right. Still on the ground here, physically. If you get tired of standing, which, whoops, now I'm sitting on the rails, on the grass. Just sitting on the grass here, folks, watching the train go by. Massive bogies there. Alright, let's get back in the train. Come on. Just, ooh, there she goes. Teleport back into the cab. There we go. Might as well ring this bell once more. Let's get off the throttle. Let's add a bit of brake. Speeding up again. Speeding up. Don't need it. Need it. Slow down, got a bit of a curve. Got a curve coming up. Okay, let's get back up. Get quite a workout with VR mode. Add a bit of water. Got our brake on still, but we're still increasing speed. I can feel it. You do get haptic feedback through these hand controllers that you can see on the screen here. So as you squeeze the trigger to grab this lever and move it, there's like a little click from inside the controller, like a vibration, that sort of tells you how your notches are going on your throttle, for example. Anyway, we need to slow down. Oh no, too fast. Okay. Off the brake. Don't want to overly compress it as we go around that curve. Oh, fuel. Okay, I think that was a bit close, that one. Kind of let it get away from us. We're still looking good. Like I said, there's some real curves on this map, and I can just, oh god, I'm on the roof now. I can just feel her speeding up again. Yeah, look at just how fast it creeps away from you. We're not there yet, folks, but we are almost there. Just a few last little curves to do. I must say, these VR games are really spoiling pretty much every other game for me now. Just the sheer immersiveness of being in a room-scale VR experience, such as this one. Some coal for the left. Oops. Some coal for the right. Yeah, Really can't beat VR, I guess. Let's add a bit more throttle. Again, just trying to run this thing economically right now. We're almost there, almost there. Just a few last little twists and turns, and we will be at Harbour and Town. That little viaduct you can see there, that's pretty much when we were on that. We're on the doorstep of Harbour and Town, which is directly in front of us. So I hear that they're actually going to be doing a lot of enhancements to this particular location on the map in the future. So let's get off the throttle here and start to apply a bit of brake. Yeah, so they're going to add villages and bits and pieces. Well, it is, isn't it called? It's called Harbour and Town, and right now it's more like just harbour, you know. So I guess I'm not sure where the town's going to go. It looks like it's quite mountainous around here, but yeah, should be interesting to see. I really hope you guys are enjoying this video. I will just say, if you do like this type of content, please ensure that you like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please do leave a comment. Comments are very much appreciated. Hopefully positive comments. Add some more brake here. Brake, 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 brake. We're going over the viaduct now. Alright folks, I think this is it. Oh no. Once again, adding too much water. Just open the water dump there. Alright, this is it. So, rolling into town here. And looking good. You can see our coal has come down quite a bit there. Used to be just sort of jumping up there. It's a huge amount of coal before. Not so much anymore. So on these well, this is not a long haul, but if you were, for example, going from one end of the map to the other, you'd want to be driving pretty much like I've been driving today, very economically, as much as you can. Let's get off the brake here, off the throttle. We just dump some water out. Got way too much water in there. Jeepers. Way too much water. Man. Is this the right thing? Yeah, this is water dump. I hope I haven't drained all the water out. No, I think we're full of water, so... Oh, I don't like it when I don't know how much water I've got. And I haven't looked at where I'm going in quite a while either. Alright, so this is it folks. We'll go ahead and pull on the brakes shortly. I'm not sure what's going on with my water situation here. Oh. It looks full to me. It looks like way full. Probably, yeah. I mean, if I had cylinder cocks, I'd open them right now because, yeah, I'd be blowing my pistons out for sure. Alrighty, so there's our little station house. Most of our train, I think, has gone through sidings, the switches, the points. Let's go ahead and just neutralize everything here. Put on the brake. We're not going to add any more fire. We're done pretty much. So go ahead and stop this crazy train. Okay. Good. Let the fire sort of die out. Put the brakes on full. Yeah, so welcome to Harbour and Town. Oh, I guess here's a bit of the town, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the water there, but not sure. Anyway, As you can see, the fire is coming down quite a bit. It does sort of die down and the fire will go out. There'll be little lumps of coal just left on the ground there in the firebox. In the base of the firebox, I should say, sorry. But yeah, we don't need to hang around for that. Let's just quickly jump off out of the train, out of the Loco. And there she stands. So yeah, we made it. Congratulations to everyone who made it this far as well. Thank you for watching very much. Thank you very much. If you, like I said, enjoyed this content, please let me know. Happy to do more of this in the future. This VR is really crazy and really crazy good. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, definitely let me know. Yeah, we'll let the Loco just smoke out. It's got probably way too much water in it, so that's not a terrible thing. Better than having no water. But yeah, basically at the end of the job, what you do is you get a little job card, you take it into the station there, you put it into the job machine, and you get your money, which you can put into your wallet, which I've got 62 grand at the moment in my wallet. So I can purchase a few little bits and bobs. There is a secret Locomotive key that I can purchase for about 60 grand right now. So maybe I'll do that in the next video, and we'll hunt down what this secret locomotive is. Hopefully it's a steam locomotive as well. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and catch you all again very soon. Cheers!